Welcome back to the afternoon session here at the Seminole County Board of County Commission. October 28th, 2025 is today's date. We are going to immediately go into our quarterly service recognition awards. Ms. Christina Brandolini. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. This afternoon, we have the pleasure of recognizing several employees for their service to Seminole County. Allison Thal with Community Services will lead us off with recognizing Carrie Longsworth, Community Assistance Division Manager with 20 years of service.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. It is my pleasure today to introduce you, because you already know her, to Carrie Longsworth. So Carrie is a native Floridian who grew up in Oviedo and graduated from Oviedo High School and from UCF.
Yay!
I know.
Go Knights!
I was going to say that, but then I thought that would be inappropriate.
There you go. Yeah.
Carrie started with Seminole County in the Community Services Department on August 15th. 2005 as a part-time customer service representative while attending college. She worked her way up through the Community Assistance Division and became the division manager in 2017. During the pandemic, Carrie led the division through the CARES, the ERAP, the ARPA, and the funding blitz, pushing over $40 million out the door to residents in need to remain in their homes while also managing the nonprofit and homeless diversion funding. Carrie oversees programs providing financial support to the community's most vulnerable residents, whether through rental subsidy, housing the homeless, and working with our nonprofit providers to deliver much-needed services in our community. I am proud to have Carrie on the Community Services team. Thank you for your 20 years of service to Seminole County.
Yay!
And I would add that Carrie is an invaluable asset to the AHAC.
Alan Harris, Emergency Management Director, has several employees this afternoon that he will be recognizing. First, we have Michael Freher, Animal Services Investigator with 20 years of service.
So for the record, Alan Harris, Director of Emergency Management. Investigator Michael does our investigations for our aggressive dogs, bite investigations, dangerous dogs, does a lot of work on animal cruelty and prevention of hoarding cases. Many of you actually have done some ride-alongs, and I know you've ridden along with him, and you've seen what he does out in the field, and it's quite something. I really appreciate Michael, his strength in looking into cases that are brought up to us and investigating those and preventing future animal cruelty. One thing also that Michael doesn't know I was going to mention today is he's got a new title, and that is leader of our Geneva Emu response team.
Oh, boy.
So Michael's been doing that. He is actually, every once in a while when the emu gets loose, Michael is the one that goes out and works with the family to get the emu. So congratulations on your 20 years. For 25 years, I think that we really need to, everybody knows who this person is. So Tommy Oliveras is very well known throughout the entire state of Florida. He serves on multiple communications subcommittees for the State Homeland Security Group, the Urban Area Security Initiative for Central Florida. When the Stoneman Douglas tragic event happened down in South Florida, the state legislation put out that we needed to have interoperable networks that communicated, that police and law enforcement in each city and county could speak to each other. And when Tommy and I met right after that to make sure that all the checks were, all the boxes were checked, we already knew that we had already connected that. Here in Seminole County, we had an interoperable network for decades before that, and that's due to Tommy's proactive thinking. All of our network, from the school bus to the police car to the government vehicle to Seminole State College, all of those are on an interoperable network. We can all communicate throughout the entire, and that's because of his proactive thinking. And it's been an honor working with him. We started almost about the same time our public service here in Seminole County as It's an honor to have you as my partner and co-worker, so thank you. So for 30 years, it's the voice of animal services. I don't know. If you call animal services Monday through Friday, this is the lady 90% of the time that's going to pick up the call. Over 1,400 field calls per month on average. And she picks up the calls, dispatches the folks, if anyone's in trouble out in the field, and it is a dangerous situation sometimes. It's an individual alone, an animal control officer out in the field in front of someone that may not be too happy that a dog just bit them or a dog got loose or whatever. And Marlene is on the other side protecting those animal control officers when they need help, and also being the comforting voice for people that are calling us whenever there is an issue. So Marlene, thank you for your 30 years of service. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, so thank you.
Chief Matt Kinley will be recognizing several fire department employees as well as a recent retiree. And we will start with Laura Simpson, emergency communications dispatcher with 20 years of service.
Good afternoon. For the record, Matt Kinley, Fire Chief, Seminole County. 20 years of service. Laura Simpson began her public safety career in 2000 after relocating to Pennsylvania, where she completed firefighter training and proudly served for 3 years. In 2005, she returned to Florida and transitioned into emergency communications as an emergency communications dispatcher. Over the years, she advanced through the ranks and has served as communications training officer for over a decade, training many, if not all, of our current personnel. With more than 20 years of experience in the fire service and emergency dispatch, she has remained deeply committed to public safety and professional growth. Thank you, Lisa. Next, we have Lieutenant Jaslyn Zombo. Jazz began her career in 2005 with the Seminole County Fire Department after coming from Winter Springs. Lieutenant Zombo is a Geneva native who graduated from Seminole High School and Seminole High School's Health Academy program. Soon after graduation, she enrolled in Seminole State College's Firefighter Minimum Standards program to pursue a career in firefighting. In her 20-year tenure as a firefighter, she's become a paramedic, promoted to lieutenant, and attained a bachelor's degree in public safety administration, along with many accolades to include the 2018 State of Florida Paramedic of the Year. She also worked with legislators in Tallahassee to pass a cancer legislation that provides benefits for firefighters in the state of Florida diagnosed with cancer. Lieutenant Zombo currently serves as command safety technician on B shift and resides in the Oviedo area with her son and daughter. And I know that she has pulled 2 people out of a burning building. 25 years of service. So I'm going to keep this short because this individual hates recognition, but I will say that we could not do our job without him. Gerald Hutchinson, Hutch, began his career with Seminole County working for Environmental Services, Water and Sewer in September of 2000 as their warehouse supervisor. In November of 2007, he transferred to the fire department, also in the role of warehouse supervisor. In this role, he has seen many changes in his tenure with the fire department. Hutch is married, resides in unincorporated Altamont Springs. And I would just like to point out that when you're talking about logistics, to keep our operation moving from paper towels to bunker gear, Hutch has touched every piece of it. We could not do our job without people like him. Thank you, Hutch. – 38 years of service. She has seen everything. She knows where all the skeletons are. Lisa Manuel, retired emergency communication dispatcher, began her career with Seminole County in August of 1987, where she worked in the Emergency Communications Center for more than 3.5 decades. Throughout the years, she has been the steadfast heart and soul behind the scenes, whether dispatching critical calls, supervising shifts, training the next generation of operators. Her leadership and commitment have set the gold standard for what it means to serve. Lisa's impact on Seminole County and the Fire Department Communications Center will be felt for generations. As she embarks on her new chapter, we honor her extraordinary journey and say thank you. If I can, just for a moment, thank you. I'd just like to point out, when it comes to public safety, we talk about firefighters, we talk about police. Everybody who's getting a recognition here has some level of impact on public safety, whether that be through animal services, dispatch, helping the firefighters get their equipment and gear and keeping the trucks on the road. It's all public safety. So I'd just like to point that out, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and that concludes our presentation. If we can have some pictures
Yes,
on the
indeed.
floor.
We'll
Thanks.
come down and get some photos. All right, now we're going to move into our public hearing portion of our agenda, and I will look for proof of publication, please.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Like sign. Hearing none. Carries unanimously. Ex parte disclosure, we'll start with Commissioner Herr and work our way across.
None to disclose.
None to disclose?
None to disclose.
None to disclose.
How about that? It's unanimous. Okay, first item will be approve the adoption of the ordinance amending Chapter 95. Ms. Tricia Johnson, the Deputy County Manager, thank you for all the work you've done on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm here this afternoon actually to present 3 public hearings related to code amendments. Joining me today to address any of your questions, Mike Rhodes, Jennifer Nix, and John Martin behind me. To briefly recap, and possibly for the last time, at least for several months, this process began nearly 20 months ago. Since then, we have accomplished several key milestones, namely adoption of the International Property Maintenance Code, amendments to Chapter 53, establishment of our code enforcement team, and now today, code amendments before you. Ongoing efforts include implementation of our interim IT program, development of the public portal, and additional amendments to Chapter 40, which will probably come back to you in the spring. Today, we begin with Chapter 95, Health, Property Maintenance, and Sanitation. Recommended changes to Chapter 95 include deletion of obsolete and duplicative language, new definitions for rubbish and vehicle coverings, revisions related to overgrown yards and abatement procedures, streamlining nuisance abatement by authorizing the Code Enforcement Division Manager to make determinations on nuisance violations and initiate abatements more efficiently, and delegation of authority to the Special Magistrate to consider and decide challenged nuisance determinations or abatements. Staff's recommendation, approval, and adoption of the ordinance amending Chapter 95 to the Seminole County Code.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Johnson? Seeing none, I will go to board action.
Move to approve.
Second.
Do we have public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Hey, we've done it.
I was looking. So we'll close public comment.
Good call.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Carries unanimously. Next item, Ms. Johnson, is yours as well.
Yes, sir. Public hearing number 2, Chapter 120, Junk and Junk Dealers. Recommended changes to Chapter 120 include updating the chapter name from junk dealers to simply junk, clarifying the county's authority to address and remove abandoned or junk vehicles on both private and public property, adding a clear definition to vehicle cover, updates to contract procedures for vehicle removal, lot clearing, etc. Staff's recommendation, approval and adoption of the ordinance amending Chapter 120 of the Seminole County Code.
Any questions for staff? Seeing none, is there any public input on this item?
No, sir.
Seeing none, we'll close public input and go to board action.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Carries unanimously. Okay, Ms. Johnson, you're 3 for 3. It's yours again.
All right, public hearing number 3, Chapter 168, Nuisances. Recommended changes to Chapter 168 include conforming amendments to align with prior updates to Chapters 53 and 95, further streamlining of nuisance abatement, violation, correction, and hearing procedures, delegation of authority to the Special Magistrate to consider and decide nuisance determinations or abatements, authorization for the Code Enforcement Division Manager to proceed with abatements upon expiration of an order or an unsuccessful appeal, and the chapter provides for abatement of imminently hazardous items. Staff's recommendation, approval and adoption of the ordinance amended Chapter 168 of the Seminole County Code.
Any questions for staff?
Just one.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna.
Commissioner
Where's
Constantine?
the stuff where it never comes back to us?
When you're done with that, that should be it. Yes, sir. It's all of the chapters we've been bringing for you cover that.
Thank you.
Anybody from the public to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Seeing none, we'll close public comment and go to board action.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Carries unanimous. Thank you very much for all your hard work, and also the county attorney's office and all the folks now in our new division of code
Yes, sir.
enforcement.
Well, I'd like to thank this board, the county manager, and the county attorney for your guidance, insight, and patience with us throughout this process. It has been quite the adventure, lots of discussion, collaboration, and just downright hard work to get where we are today. We have an incredible team in place, and we're all very excited to see where we can take code enforcement for our citizens. So thank you very much.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
thank you
Yes,
all.
Commissioner Herr.
I'd just like to point out that this is the gestational period of an elephant. The time it took us to do this, I looked it up. And so congratulations on the birth of our baby elephant.
I was actually going to say, to that point, when you mentioned how long you've been working on it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure we covered the junk vehicle back in 2019, 2020, that was revised. 2020, correct? So here we are 5 years later. Good work.
And I
Thank
think
you.
we hired our last code enforcement officer, so
Yes.
we're fully staffed, right?
We have our team of 5 code enforcement officers, our division manager, our field supervisor, and they're all set up on the second floor, so you should pop in and take a look. It looks terrific.
Fantastic. Good work. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, get back to it.
All right, we'll go to the county attorney's report.
I have no report today, Chairman.
All right. Thank you. County manager's report.
You're not so lucky with me. I just have a few things, so. One, couple great news items here. First, our Emergency Management Division Manager, Stephen Lerner, has been selected as the Central Florida Disaster Medical Coalition Leader of the Year. He just got that.
Great.
This coalition spans from Martin County down south all the way to Volusia, includes healthcare providers, hospitals, emergency services, and public safety agencies across the region. Stephen's leadership reflects Seminole County's strong commitment to preparedness and regional coordination. So we want to congratulate Stephen. Great recognition and great job as he always does. You saw our Veteran Services Manager, Joey Coate, here this morning. He's been with us now 6 weeks or probably about 2 months now. He's doing amazing.
Right.
You all will, he probably has already met with you. We're going to relaunch our Veteran of the Month program, getting ready to start that again soon. So you'll be getting more information on that. As you all know, Oliver Bond, our solid waste division manager, went, what they call it, across the pond. He went back home. We were very, very fortunate, and we have a replacement already. His name is Joe England. He started yesterday, comes from the city of Orlando, has a PhD in environmental science, great individual. He was here this morning. I was hoping, I don't think he's here now, nope. I'll get him to come by your offices. I said, you're very crucial all year long, but and particularly during our hurricane season. So he's from this region, so he understands that. And we finished our first full week with Scout. 6,300 rides as of this morning, a little over 6,300. We all knew there were going to be a few hiccups and challenges. We're working through all that. Mr. Swinson works with the team on this on a daily basis. You all should have gotten your dashboards already, so those are great information. What we're planning to do is go through the first quarter and come back in January to do a full update to the board. But as you notice, we're going to be watching it every day, making tweaks on it continuously. So if you hear something or if you want something more, just send it our way and we'll get it happen. Make it happen.
Great.
Thank you.
Great work. On the Scout item, and I know we have been very proactive in rolling this out to our community, both in person, and many of us have been interviewed by the news media as well as social media that we've put it out there. I've spoke to 3 civic groups this past week that had no clue, no idea, which was sort of lost on me from the standpoint of, do you watch the news? Do you follow anything at the county? And I guess a lot don't, for whatever reason. So I don't know if it makes sense to, I know we've got these brochures, that we drop those at faith-based groups and ask them to pass them out or whatever it is. Just food for thought.
Okay.
And I think that may be helpful, just
Sure.
if you can let us know your thoughts, or PIO can let us know
No, I think
your thoughts.
as much as, and that's what we, as much as information that we send out as much as we possibly can. However, we know we don't cover everyone, so if there's
Right.
groups or, we had a person come up recently and say they put out this magazine to a few HOAs and they would like to place it in there too. So
Yeah.
we gave them the brochure as well. So anything, please
Yeah.
pass it our way. Our team with Mr. Patton and his communication team is out there speaking to it as well. One thing that Mr. Swenson had told me this morning, and actually Commissioner Lockhart and I just talked about this recently, is some folks are saying some of the Lynx bus riders are not using it yet because the buses are still running.
Sure,
We're running dual transportation systems now. That will end in January. However, we have our interns going to bus stops, on the buses, riding the buses, explaining it. Some of those members those riders probably will use that until they can't,
Sure.
and then they'll transition. So we're out there on the streets every day notifying folks. So any other groups that you think would be helpful, we'd be
Sure.
more and happy then go talk with them or send them information.
Yeah, I spoke to a group in Tuscaloosa last night, and several of them said, yeah, we've seen the vehicles, but we weren't sure what they were. Yeah, well, that's what,
Yeah.
so, anyway.
Mr. Chairman?
Good. Yes, Commissioner Lockhart.
On that same point, I think if we can creatively find ways to encourage those Lynx fixed route riders who are going to have to transition to start trying it now. And I don't know what that incentive may be. Maybe it's your first ride is free if you're a current Lynx bus rider. Something, even though we've missed our free phase. I think there, people just out of just
Habit.
pure habit and human nature is to wait until the last possible moment to do the science project, to write the report. And so they're going to wait until January 10th, and then they're going to try to get on. And then we may be in a bit of a bind with a rush of people trying to figure out how to use it all at the same time. So leave it completely up to staff how they want to, brainstorm, encouraging those people to start trying it now. I think that would be really important.
Yep, good stuff. Okay. Anything else on that item?
No, sir.
Commissioner Herr?
In terms of getting information out, I would say there's a couple of major constituencies that probably are riders, and that is the Transportation and Food Services Department at the school district. I can help facilitate
Okay.
any, if you give me the material, it's probably 1,000 to distribute by the time I get to both of those populations. I can get it into the right departments and make sure that it's handed out. I think they would appreciate that. I do think they're riders, and most often one-car households, so this may
Right.
be game-changing in terms of employment opportunities.
Good, we'll do it.
And maybe our tax collector could insert one of our things with their mailers.
Oh,
I mean, they mail out for renewal of tags,
Right.
literally probably
Yeah.
every day, or at least once a month. Just a thought. Commissioner Constantine?
And I think Commissioner Hurl will be proud of me. I'm on the dashboard right now.
what?
I am proud of you.
And, yeah, I spoke to two groups this week. Christian came with me to one of them, as did Chris, and they did know about it. They just didn't know how to get on it.
Yeah.
And so that was, and they had a lot of great questions and everything like that. But, we're talking about a half a month here.
Right.
And we're already almost at 11,000 passengers. That's pretty darn good. I would suggest that that's probably more than rode the bus. So,
Agreed.
huh?
In one week.
Agreed.
Yeah.
In 1 week.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. And the interesting thing about this is the age distribution, that it's almost exactly the same, 65 and over and 21 to 34. They're both at 33%, which is really interesting. I think probably the 65 will go higher as we get, but it is nice to see that, it's being so well used.
The one thing that I've heard is, and I brought it to the county manager's attention, is a little bit of confusion with the app, and how do we get the app that says Scout instead of
Yeah,
Freebie? Or go in through the Freebie portal, and then it populates an app for
Yeah.
Scout.
Yeah.
Because I've had several people call and go, well, I went to do it, but it just shows up, and it's Miami or whatever on the screen. Well, you got to drop it down, go to Seminole County.
Right.
All that, just a thought.
Yeah.
Commissioner Lockhart?
I had a little scout update on my district report, so if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and
Sure.
share if I
Yeah.
can now, and then we'll knock the scout out.
Yeah.
Tim and I took Scout this weekend, and our driver was absolutely the best ambassador for Scout that you could possibly have. Most of his information was accurate. He had no idea who I was. I was kind of secret shopping. I didn't mean to be. But one of the things that he feels that he has observed is that the people who are riding now are not the Lynx riders. And but that when Christian and I spoke, we do think that these are the folks that we knew existed in the gap. They couldn't necessarily afford an Uber or a Lyft. They didn't have the ability to walk to the distance of a Lynx bus stop. And these are these folks who are trying this for the first time, who maybe would have been stuck at home or finding some other way. So, yeah, those people that we really had, because when we went down this path, we said, this is for Lynx riders. If you are a Lynx rider, this is your replacement. And now we have found that there are umpteen more thousands of people who need transportation in this community who didn't have access to it. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. At the Lynx board meeting, we had several UCF students who came to express their objection to the elimination of the routes. There's some misunderstanding about when you say Route 434 and that's going away, and the messaging is difficult when you're used to a particular route. What does that mean? And so we right up front address the fact that if you live in Orange County, Osceola County, and you need to get to the UCF campus, the modification that the changes that Seminole County made in implementing Scout does not affect your ability to get from where you are to your school campus. These would be for Seminole County students. So we have not heard yet any displeasure from any Seminole County residents who attend UCF. These have mostly been students, UCF students who live in Orange County and are just generally at the upset at the idea of something change. It's change, right? It's change. They will still have access. They still have the ability to get to campus. It will just be maybe a different number route. So I had an interview with Night News just this afternoon over the lunch break. Fantastic students from the Nicholson School of Communications who really want to make sure that they get the facts out to their students. And so they're covering both sides of the story, those who have been users of Lynx and talking to us. And what a great opportunity for us to be able to get the word directly to those students who are going to be reading Night News and understand exactly what it is that may be impacting them, which, if you're in Seminole County, right now, we have had 4 rides to UCF on Scout and 7 rides from UCF on Scout. So over the course of the last week, 11 trips of students now that's probably more than utilized the Lynx bus route, frankly. But now we'll be able to know. We'll be able to know exactly who needs it, where they're going, where they're coming from, and we'll be able to continue to work on that. And that was one of the things that the reporters from Night News were curious about was, are you going to be able to extend hours? And maybe. Right? Like, we don't know. We're taking it one step at a time, and does an extension of hours make sense, and what does that ridership look like? And it's all, possibly, but just so you know, there was opposition at the Lynx board meeting to those route changes, and we'll continue to communicate with those folks as best we can and utilize every opportunity. Chris and his team have been fantastic in making sure that we communicate the positives of Scout, and so far everybody seems to be understanding that.
And ironically, on that point, hasn't Lynx now developed a relationship with Freebie?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, the irony is not lost on me. So at our last Lynx board meeting, we approved a contract with Freebie out of Miami to replace the Neighbor Link. So now Lynx is no longer doing Neighbor Link in-house. They have outsourced to Freebie. And they have found that they can save millions of dollars.
Wow. Amazing.
Exciting.
What-
It took every bone in my body to not gloat.
I bet it did.
But, that's true, yes. So Lynx has decided that they're going to give Freebie a shot
Good work.
to provide microtransit services. Yeah.
Good job.
And Commissioner, we've had 2 go to UCF today.
Right.
2 rides go to UCF today.
I am proud of you down there.
Thank you.
Managing the dashboard live.
That's pretty incredible.
All right. Well, district reports, Commissioner Lockhart, you're still up.
Okay, so I talked about Lynx. I do want to, anything that we can do, I know each of us works with different commissioners from different counties on regional boards. This change has ruffled some feathers with some of our partners in some of our neighboring counties. If you interact particularly with folks from Osceola County, I'm just going to put it out there because it was at the public meeting at Lynx and it's being discussed. There was concern on the part of the Osceola County representative that the folks from Lynx were helping to answer questions about the freebie changes and the route changes that Lynx was making. And my perspective on that is we're still a partner in Lynx. We still are serving the same riders. I actually said, I think it's fantastic that Lynx has been working so collaboratively with our team because we need to make sure that there's continued connectivity. Like, we're still a regional transportation system. We're just choosing to do things a little bit differently in Seminole County. So if you can help to, reinstill that with any of our partners as you work with them on other boards, I certainly don't want the change that we decided to make to hinder other partnership opportunities moving forward, because there's clearly some ruffled feathers.
Yeah, I mean, change, back to what was said earlier about the UCF, the change. I did interact with one from that county, and it was good dialogue. And my take on it was the partners can all benefit from the gamble that Seminole County has taken to be the first to go out and see how this works. Instead of everybody doing it at once, you use our experience to your benefit, and it was well taken.
Good.
Yeah.
And if I can, on that,
Commissioner.
Commissioner, you're exactly right. At the Regional Planning Council, there was an Orange County commissioner that was concerned about it also. And I think the other thing about it is, we are the guinea pig, if you want to do it. But the other thing that I think that I heard was that they felt that we were leaving the Lynx riders behind. And I clearly squelched that and said, no, this is actually going to be even more beneficial to them. And our pricing is at the same level as it would be on Lynx. So once I was able to, tell them that, then they didn't have any problem.
And they also didn't realize our focus on getting people to Sunrail. That they had no idea of.
Absolutely.
So-
Okay, well, thank you.
Commissioner Delory.
Commissioner Lockhart, I think you've posed a valid point, and I think in the past, Osceola has pulled back from OEP as it is today, and there was no angst from us or anyone else, because they were trying something different. I'm not asking you to remind them that, but I will be more than happy to remind those individuals that I know from Osceola County that as well. And we did speak about it at MetroPlan with a couple of the Orange County commissioners, and there was a lot of issues that they weren't aware of. So there's a lot of misinformation. Shouldn't say a lot. There is some misinformation that's out there. I think that's a better way to put it.
I'll get to know it.
Yeah, great.
Just takes time.
It does, and then I appreciate so much everyone being, all of us are in this together, and so the more that we can help, alleviate fears, the better. Thank you. Had a good Sunrail meeting. We did extend hours on Sunrail minimally. It was a minimal change, but it's going to impact people, I think, very positively. So we had 2 deadhead trains at the end of the night that were coming back empty. There weren't people on them. They were just getting them back to where they needed to start the next morning. And so with some tweaking of some times and some minor modifications of some staffing, FDOT made the recommendation, and there was a lot of discussion about it to make sure that we were making the best decision and for cost purposes and everything. But so now there are extended southbound trains, so from DeLand southbound, I think, going till 11 o'clock at night. So, so the media has not picked up on that, I'm not quite sure. That was actually a pretty significant change,
Yeah.
and there was another train that was added in a gap. There was like a 2-hour gap late in the evening, like a 9, and then coming the other direction, like a 9 and then an 11, and so we put one in at 10. So it's actually more opportunities to ride later into the evening at an incredibly minimal cost because the train was running anyway. We're just putting people on it.
Yeah.
Good.
Great.
Charge
So
fares.
I could have come back from homecoming, go Hatters,
Thank you.
this weekend.
I don't think it was in effect yet this weekend, because
Okay,
we just
well, I'm gonna
voted on
plan
it.
ahead, so I can now go to the elusive grape, into land, and come home. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great news.
That is fantastic.
Check the trips and just make sure that I'm not
Perfect.
lying.
Go Hatters.
Go Hatters.
Go Hatters. Okay, so that's your Sunrail update. And then, we also, shout out to Brajesh again and the team that's working on has been working on the amendment, the first amendment to the local funding agreement. That agreement was crazy. I asked to see the strike ad version, and it was like red underline, red underline, red underline, strike, strike, strike. It was a mess. So they did a fantastic job as a team cleaning that up, and really excited about that. Had a briefing with Tricia Johnson and Chief Bedard and Chief Spriggs from the jail, and Bob Cortez talking about inmate health care and medical costs. There's been an ongoing discussion through the Florida Association of Counties about some potential language change at the legislature that could help local jails get access to Medicare reimbursement for inmates that they don't currently have access to. And I will not go into the weeds on the language because there are a lot of different suggestions about it, but significant opportunity. The sheriff's office is working with us. There are a couple of other counties. I think it was Pasco County that was one of the counties that's proposing this legislation. It could be several years in the making, as a lot of legislative changes tend to be, but could be a significant impact to our jail. The RX is another huge driver at the jail. And so we're looking at any ways that we can to help support them in that. What is unique about Seminole County is that although the sheriff runs the jail, we do actually care how much it costs.
Right.
Apparently, other counties, they said that other counties who have given their sheriff the responsibility of running the jail, they don't necessarily look at the cost drivers as much. They haven't quite made that connection yet. So we're going to see if we can't be supportive and help the sheriff with some legislation and at least start talking about this with our county partners and see what we can do. It was a very good meeting with follow-up to come. The Emerald Awards is November 1st at Northland Church in Longwood. It's a salute to Black excellence in Seminole County. Commissioner Zembauer, thank you so much for your support of this
Absolutely.
event. It's just a wonderful grassroots event highlighting the incredible accomplishments of the Black community in Seminole County. I will be going with the college. The Council of Presidents has a legislative fly-in to Tallahassee next week, so I will be up there. Always use that as an opportunity to talk to any of our legislators about the things that we have happening here in Seminole County as well. So looking forward to that. And did someone say today was National Chocolate Day?
It is.
Did you actually say that earlier?
Yeah.
When I tried to take some.
When he was taking all my shots.
Okay. I thought I heard it, but I didn't remember if it was said officially. Got it. So today is also National First Responders Day.
It is.
That was mentioned. Did I take that from you
Yeah,
again?
that's okay.
I'm sorry. Anyway.
You got it from me too, so I can mark off my
Yeah,
list.
I'm marking things off that you're saying, don't worry.
Lots and lots and lots of great things happening in Seminole County. Thank you all.
Amen. Commissioner Herr, District
All
5.
right, on 10/17, I did a tour of the Recovery House of Central Florida. If you haven't been there recently, it's probably worth a tour. It is very different from what it used to be. New management structure and style and all of the stuff. And they are doing a Serve Hope Gala on the 14th. And tables are very affordable. This is a fundraiser, so anybody that might want to buy a table, that would be awesome. And they are working toward a capital fundraise. If you live in Seminole County and you happen to be addicted and you happen to be a woman, you cannot get treatment in this county. Our center doesn't host women. Recovery House doesn't host women. So so they want to change that. They've found a property and they are looking to change that and have this be an equal opportunity cure location. So I am happily supporting that. I did go to the Seminole County Public Schools Annual Foundation Night of Impact. Significant amount of money was raised. The most remarkable thing is that that started in 1987, with Dee Dee Schaffner, and God bless her, $65 million has been raised since she started that. And at the point that I joined that board, she was running it on a legal pad with a pencil.
And running it she was.
And running it she was, yes. And so from its meager start to where it is today with an accounting system, which is pretty cool. But amazing work that's been done over the years there. I did attend the legislative session. I sit in the back and listen to the majority of it. When our legislative delegation came, Commissioner Zimbauer, you did a good job of representing us, and the day is just always an interesting one.
It is, thank you.
And then Sanford's State of the City Luncheon, I was asked why I never attend it, and I told them I'm not a member of the chamber, nor have I ever been invited to attend it, so that turned into an invitation. It was delightful. I did get to meet the new owners of the Sanford Mall, and they talked about their vision for the mall, which includes a big box store that sells cheap hot dogs, is how they say it, because there's apparently an NDA. And so that's happening. It was very nicely done. The Sanford Chamber hosted it, and it's nicely done. And HSN gave me the opportunity to present Kim Fogel with the Thomas C. Chapman Jr. Community Champion Award. And it was really nice to see a project in Seminole County get recognized in Orange County, and she was quite delighted by that. I do want to let you know that I did ask county's team to look at 2 parcels of land that may become available that are adjacent to the Smith Canal and may be valuable for drainage or future work. They are not on the market yet. Owner reached out, and I've connected them to the team, so we may be hearing more about that at some point. And the last shout out I'll give is it was wonderful to see Christina Brandolini standing here looking like nothing ever happened, but she is in the middle of annual open enrollment, and if you have not done your annual open enrollment, now's the time to do it. Don't say you didn't hear about it. 10/24 to 11/7. I've already enrolled. I hope you all do as well.
All right, good. Commissioner Delary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just quickly, I have one item. Yesterday at Metro Plan, we hosted a regional meeting with the Tampa Bay region. They have several MPOs over in the Tampa Bay area, and they are looking to consolidate all their MPOs into one, and they're trying to figure out the pros and cons. That's why they came to Metro Plan Orlando. It started yesterday at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it finished, I think it was like 2:30. I want to thank Commissioner Constantine for being there most of the time. There's a lot of great input, a lot of questions. They were very intrigued on how 3 different counties can work together for the good of the region and still feel as if they get their fair share. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And they were also concerned about small cities not being heard. And as we know, we have several small cities, not just in Seminole, but Osceola and Orange. And they actually reported out that they feel as if they do get their voices heard. And so there's a lot of great dialogue. And one of the dialogues that they were talking about is that they wanted to hear more about, well, I shouldn't say, at this point they wanted to watch to see what was happening with Scout, because a lot of them use it on a much smaller area, and they're looking to learn from Seminole. And I just told them, I said, just give us a couple of months and then reach out to our staff, and I'm sure we'll be more than happy to share our lessons learned And so we're all being watched from that standpoint. And they were also concerned about how we as a region came together to actually bring Sunrail to fruition as it is today and what's it moving forward. So just want to let you all know that people are watching us from different aspects from the region and from different parts of the state. So, end of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. And this will be Commissioner Constantine, District 3.
Thank you very much. I did want to make you aware that on October 15th, the Thousand Friends of Florida did a webinar on Senate Bill 180, which was very well attended. There was over 1,000 attendees that was done virtual. And I watched it myself. I sent it to our county attorney's office, and I am going to ask Beatrice to send it to all of your offices. It was really good. People like Richard Grosso, who's an attorney down in South Florida.
How long is the?
It's about an hour.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and it really was very informative. Even some things that would happen that I hadn't thought of, but they even had a city commissioner from Deltona that was talking about her concerns and what has happened just in Deltona on it already. And then, so there was another attorney who happens to be on the board of the Thousand Friends with me, Susan, and she was also talking, she's an attorney for cities down south, and she was also talking about some of the things. So I think you might, if you get a chance, it's very interesting.
So Commissioner, on that,
Yes.
Grosso is the attorney of record in the litigation,
Yes, he is.
correct?
Yes, he is.
And City of Deltona, didn't they just take a vote to withdraw from the litigation?
I am not aware of that.
Pretty sure they did.
Okay.
Not sure why.
Well, I will tell you, and you could, some of the things that are in there as to, and a lot of the cities are, nobody's advocating that.
Correct.
This is just an information as to what the cause and effect is.
Sure.
And so I think that if you took a look at it, they were just talking about, as well as us, they sent their concerns,
Right.
like all of us, like the Florida Association of Counties has.
Right.
So I just think that if you want to just learn more, it's there for you, for your benefit.
There's no recommendations, just for information purposes.
It's telling you what happened,
What could happen.
the effect
Right.
of it is, as very similar to, Kate with her letter
Right.
had done, but this goes in a little bit more detail. I did want to talk to you about English Estates, one of our homeowners associations. It's in Commissioner Lockhart's district, had a fall festival, which was very nice, little community festival that we have so many festivals. It's just wonderful here in Seminole County.
Do you go to all of them?
No.
Just
Can't
curious.
go to all of them. I see you at a lot on them, though, Bob.
I know, I just want to make sure. I missed some of them, that's why I wanted to know. if
And
you
I'll
to all
go
of
through
them.
some of the ones that I did go to.
I never got the notice.
On October 23rd, or October 22nd, the statewide council on opioid abatement, which both the sheriff and I are on, had a meeting. One of the new endorsements that we are suggesting to the state is that the program that the University of Central Florida has, which is unique, concerning help in psychological with talking about being First Responders Day, with the problems that first responders are having with the protection and treatment of opioid abatement and other drugs, that they're having their own psychological problems, and to put some new dollars from the state level, from the state's portion of those dollars that they're getting from the opioid thank you. So that was another thing that we've been talking about. On the 24th at the Orange County Regional Economic Summit, I just wanted to give a shout out to you, Commissioner Zimbauer. I was there, and I thought that you did a wonderful job as part of the whole panel for Seminole County, and in dealing with the other Orange and Osceola County on some new and innovative approaches.
Thank you.
On October 24th also, there was the Leadership Seminole Third Annual Call of Service, and I thought that was a well-attended event with a number of different of our 501c3 corporations. They are looking for volunteers. Also, tomorrow at the Sheriff's Office, our Sheriff Lima and myself and others will be doing a Project Overdose program, leadership program, concerning some new and innovative approaches, along with Andre Bailey of Project Overdose. Looking forward to you, Commissioner Herr, on the 30th. You always are having a lot of fun at the Mayor's Update, as you do that every year. The Regional Planning Council, by the way, talking about other counties, is going to have a meeting at Neo Center, or Neo City, I'm sorry, Neo City Academy in Kissimmee this next month, so that should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I have not been there yet, but I've heard a lot about it and read a lot about it. And also at Champions Gate, this might be interesting for all of us as well as Christian, because of what we're doing with Scout. On the 5th and 6th, there's going to be a summit on automated vehicle programming. And I am looking forward to going out there, and I've been invited by one of the presenters, and I'm looking forward to going out there and seeing some of that. Speaking of some of the events other than English Estates, just wanted to also say that we had a wonderful event with the German American Society this past Saturday. Well attended, very well attended. It was well crowded, could hardly get in. And upcoming is the City of Altamont Springs Halloween at Crane's Roost. Always a very safe environment for children to get a lot of candy, if that's what they want. On the same night as the Emerald Awards, I'll be attending the Lifeboat Project, which is having their annual, so I will be missing the Emerald, although I wish I could be there, but I'm on the board of the Lifeboat Project, so I will be there. Castleberry.
Great community project.
Thank you. Castleberry on November 3rd is having their 15th annual Food and Wine, which should be a lot of fun. The Greek Festival is coming up the 7th through the 9th. Annunciation Catholic Church's Fall Festival is the 7th and the 8th. One thing that I hope all of you are planning on attending is November 12th. The Central Florida Zoo is having a government preview of the Asian Lantern. Always a great event, and their biggest fundraiser of the year. And then our good friend Joe Gallagher and their Glass Full of Hope will be at Crane's Roost this year on November 13th. And I think I'm done. Thank you very much for the indulgence.
Thank you.
I'm tired just thinking about all those things.
Well, I'm glad a lot of that's out of the way. So October 15th, I attended the Econ Zone and the hard launch for the Scout micromobility here. AHAC meeting. Some things came out of the Affordable Housing Committee that have been festering for some time, which is the challenges that some of our partners, our private partners, have with getting through the permitting process at the City of Sanford. Numerous discussions have been had. I've spoken to staff and leadership at the city, but it continues to be a challenge. So the direction was given to the chairman of the AHAC board to draft a letter to the mayor, just outlining again some of the struggles that we have in getting some of that process done. Our desire is to try to foster and help that situation and so forth, but it becomes a problem when you have grant monies or federal money being pledged, and there's deadlines on that you have to be in, and families have got to be housed, and so that continues to be somewhat of a struggle. So hopefully we can work our way through that and find a better place. Yes.
I know you don't want to probably go into too much detail, and it's great to know that we're trying to help. Have we identified exactly how we can help with the City of Sanford? Because it's not just housing where they're struggling, it's also businesses, restaurants.
Understood.
The list goes on.
Yeah.
I can't answer that question directly, but it all has to seem to revolve around a timing issue, efficiency of getting something in on the front end and out on the back end. It'd be easy for me to say it starts with leadership, but something is amiss. There's no urgency. And I'll give you one example was we had an applicant that went through the whole process. You have to go through a historic review at the city of Sanford because it may be in a historic, facade that has to be put on. And got all the way through, and then for whatever reason, they didn't move forward, so they turned it over to another entity, and then they were forced to start all over again. And what the first entity was told they could do, the second entity was told can't do. Exact same project, nothing changed. So it's, at one point, it actually put the county in jeopardy of losing monies that had been pledged for affordable housing because we weren't going to meet the deadline under the federal guidelines to get a certificate of occupancy. Those kinds of things are what we're continuing to deal with. And some of our nonprofit partners continue to struggle to get through the process. And I've met with the city manager twice now in my office, and assured that steps were being taken to foster it and get it moved forward. But we still hear the complaints and the concerns. So I don't have a hard answer, but that's some of the things we're dealing with.
My 2 cents would be anything that we can do to provide support to our largest city, happy to provide that support.
Correct. Yeah. So
I don't know.
I've talked to staff about that, and again, anything we can do to help get through that process.
Chairman?
Yes.
So this is not new, maybe new to the nonprofits that are now building, but this has been going on since I've been elected. And periodically, those issues come through my office, and we can figure out how to try to move the needle individually. We have, I think, Darren and his team have a list of items from me to include where are we with the interlocal agreement and how are we dealing with some of the things that have happened over the years. I would tell you that I think there are just challenges that are very similar to what I would say I walked into here when I got here. So we're going to watch them go through similar iterations, I think, of change. And we've offered support. There has to be a willingness on both sides. The mayor and I talk about things regularly. I would tell you one of the other things that is a significant challenge that we have got to address is this notion that when you put a subdivision in that touches a county and touches the city and touches the homeowners association, that one ditch is being serviced by 3 different entities and we can't seem to get out of our own way. The ditch never flows because they're not cycled at the same time. And so there's a long list of stuff that has to be addressed.
Right.
And the permitting for businesses is, it's a lot. It is a lot. Part of it is infrastructure, that they're
Right.
tangled in old infrastructure. But that shouldn't be a surprise after somebody's outlaid capital.
Right. Yeah. Well, the JPA expires when, the end of this month?
It's already expired.
It's expired.
It expired last month. And we're working with the city on that.
Okay. And this board's going to weigh in on that?
Absolutely.
Good. All right. Night of Impact Gala was mentioned. Great work there. A lot of money raised, well attended. Legislative delegation was mentioned. I won't go into that. Orange County Summit, which is on the 24th. Each county shared some of the specific challenges that we believe we'll have moving to the future. And as you can imagine, some of ours are in stark contrast to what others might have been. But there is talk about regional collaboration on transportation-related items, as well as perhaps development-related items. And we've pledged to keep our ears open, have the dialogue as far as, the three counties and go. So Darren also was in attendance, so he got to see a lot of his counterparts and take notes and understand where, if we move forward with some of those initiatives, it'll come back to this board for discussion and so forth. Orlando Sanford International Airport spoke about the Aerojet inaugural flight, which came in this weekend. New carrier, three flights round trip a week is what's planned right now. They will be feeding all of Latin America, and so they're going to. Punta Gorda or Punta Cana is where they're based out of. But they're looking to expand in other airports around the United States, but they also are going to be flying into South America, multiple destinations there. So you can go from here to one to others, and they will bring others from those areas back up into here. Interesting enough, a big portion of those that flew in this weekend were going to be playing golf in Seminole County. They're going to play the Wekiva Club, they were going to play over at Heathrow, and a couple other courses, and they were going to go on the airboat rides over in the Black Hammock. They were going to the zoo. They had it all planned out for Seminole County, so it was pretty cool.
Doesn't put heads in bed.
That's right, exactly. Attended the Juvenile Justice Committee meeting, and I got to tell you, a lot of talk about the juveniles and the age groups and the programs that are available. Actually, it's actually called SNAP, but it's not the food program. But
Now in plan.
yeah, that's right. And the understanding of what we learned was our sheriff's department is doing great work in that silo that is not necessarily being done by others. Some of them actually have some barriers that domestic violence cannot be considered for a juvenile to enter into the SNAP program. Ours is not that way. The sheriff's office here is not that way. So that's a huge benefit to our citizens and these young people, and getting the outcome that we want and quite honestly deserve, which ends up saving the taxpayers dollars at the end of the round if we can keep people from going on about a life of crime and get them integrated back into the community at a young age. The payoff is huge. So good work by the sheriff's office. There is some other initiatives that the juvenile justice system is looking at. There's a couple of circuits. I think Circuit 4, which I believe is in the Jacksonville area, is doing some unique work with the young people. So they're going to be looking at that here in our district and across the state to maybe adopt some of those things that would be helpful for our juveniles, here. So good work there. Also want to, the EMU, Geneva EMU was mentioned earlier. He has a fan club. You can buy a button that you could wear, the Geneva EMU. I've spoken to some of the folks out there in my district and urge them the best they can, try to keep the emu at bay instead of running around with our people chasing them and so forth. Again, just want to take a minute and thank all the veterans for this county and nationwide for giving us the ability to assemble like we were able to do here today, and all the freedoms that we have, and great work by everybody this morning and celebrating the veterans, and Judge Woodruff in that Veterans Court was, if you ever had the opportunity to go watch that, amazing work that's not being done in a lot of places. So that's the end of my report, and I will now move to public comment, items not on the agenda. Reminder for those who are going to speak on non-agenda items, this has to do with county business only. This is not an area that you talk about federal or state or judicial or campaigning or anything else. This is something the purview of the county commission would have control of in the county. With that said, each will get 3 minutes. We'll call one name at a time.
The only speaker, Mr. Chairman, is John Stewart.
Sir John Stewart, you have 3 minutes, sir. Please come up. Your name and address for the record, sir.
John Stewart, 693 White Cliff Place, Winter Springs, Florida. And thank you for recognizing the veterans. As you can see, I am one. I don't speak for veterans. I don't want to get them in trouble. And I appreciate the kind words about the sheriff. About a half a mile from my house, a woman was abducted by some drug dealers in the middle of the day. Tuscaloosa, not Paramore, and they killed her. And our sheriff had them behind bars within a few weeks. He has cut opioid fentanyl deaths by about 42% in the last year. And I've seen those courts, those programs up close. I do volunteer. And the rehab programs have about a 70% success rate, which is incredible. And I saw our sheriff speak at the budget hearing. It sounded like he asked for 16. He got 15. I don't think anybody would begrudge him another $1 million. But what a lot of people have a problem with, including our CFO and our auditor, are things like the $9.6 million for WB Equestrian 50-acre horse ranch. I guess you can't run a county without one of those. Then there's the infamous $8 million road to nowhere over at 5 Points. Good news, no traffic. And then 2 golf courses for $13.7 million. Hard to resist a BOGO. I mean, I shop at Publix too. And I know, you'll say, well, we buy up all this property to stop it from being developed. Well, I mean, you control zoning. Remember Nancy Reagan? Just say no. Okay? So in this endless smear of our, our bookkeeper, our auditor, really bothers me. I mean, I've got 40 years of experience in finance. I hold degrees in finance, business administration, IT. I had a Series 7, the Series 66. I could go on, and I can tell that these criticisms are baseless. And I don't know what a letter from Jimmy Petronas is going to do for you. Our new CFO is Blaise Ngolia. And, comparing him to Joel Greenberg, I don't know if you've apologized, Commissioner Lockhart, but that was pretty bad. That was just unprofessional.
Sir, we're not going to sit here while you make statements about the commission. If you've got a topic, continue on. You got 15 seconds. So let's wrap it up.
I'm pretty much done, but
Okay.
You really shouldn't interrupt me while I've got time on the clock either. So
We expect
that's
proper
pretty much-
decorum. If you can't,
Well, it's the truth, isn't
Okay.
it? Wasn't there a comparison with Joel Greenberg, who's in prison?
your time's up, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Okay, well, thank you.
Anyone else?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Anything else for the good of the order?
No, sir.
Seeing none, we're dismissed.